All right, so if you have some wall space, you're just gonna go stand against the wall for a minute. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to turn my back to you the whole class, but so find a wall, and you can do this laying down too if a wall isn't there, and let your skull rest against the wall. Hands down by your sides, I like palms facing away. And what does it really feel like to give the wall your body weight? What does it feel like to really have the back of your skull in line with the back of your shoulders? This is not my norm right now. It's actually not accessed often. And notice in your body what qualities of breath and movement are there, even as you stand against the wall. Notice your knee joints and your ankle joints. How tense or soft are they? What's the quality of your shoulders here? Take maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here. And you're going to mindfully walk away from the wall when you're ready. Maybe you want to give yourself a push with your hands. Maybe you want to bend the knees. There's no right or wrong. Just be aware of how you're moving away from the wall and onto your yoga mat. All right, so you're gonna come to your yoga mat, knees bent. Bring the feet out as wide as the yoga mat. Cactus your arms, so like goalpost arms, 90 degrees in the elbows. And just let your thighs windshield wiper back and forth. So I'm gonna let mine drop over to the left and then over to the right. And move left and right with your own pacing that feels correct for you tonight. Sometimes it behooves our body to just go fast. If that's here, let it be here, go. If you feel like slow is right for you, do that. Feel your thigh bones, how they move around in the hip joint. Don't worry too much about the science and the muscles and the bones, but just what the overall quality of sensation is there. And then let the knees come to point back towards the ceiling as you're ready. Notice how much tension you're holding in your jaw. You're going to extend the right leg straight up towards the sky, flex the right foot, hold your hands behind the right thigh closer to the groin than the knee. Try to square left and right hips on the yoga mat. And extend the left knee if that feels right for you. If you do that and it feels like a ton of unnecessary tension in the hips, bend it. Feel the left leg get weighty on the ground. I like 2 flexed feet here. And as much as you're thinking about drawing the right foot back towards your forehead, think about pushing the right butt forward and away from you. So almost you can straighten your elbows. That might be available to you. And breathe here and feel the quality of this pose on your body. Take a glance up at your foot, trying to get the ball of the foot and the pinky toe side of the foot, so like big toe to pinky toe side, pretty square. Notice if the left leg is starting to tune out in the body. And then let your right leg start to move out to the right. I'm going to make a kickstand with my right elbow, bring it down onto the long edge of my yoga mat, and let my hand catch my right leg, maybe somewhere on the calf, wherever works for you, as you draw the right leg out to the right. I like left hand on the left thigh so I can feel that that left leg is not being whipped up off the yoga mat. With your right foot, kick away from you like you're pressing into a wall. Where are you feeling the most tension in your body? Sometimes it's not the parts of the pose that we're intentionally stretching or strengthening. Sometimes it creeps up into places like our jaw. So what do you feel the most in this pose? Soften the right knee. Use the strength of your core in your right leg to bring the right leg back up towards the ceiling. Bring your arms out to a T. And let your right leg cross your midline and move to the left just a couple of inches to start, just until you start to feel sensation. And we're always looking for a pain-free range of motion. If this is enough for you, stay right here. If you're getting some, really good IT band stretch, getting what you need out of the pose, stay here. Otherwise, you can start to let that right leg come all the way onto the ground on the left side of your yoga mat. I like to do a little hip shimmy so that my hips move to the right a little bit and it lets my right hip stack on top of the left. No need to get the protractor out. Keep pressing through the feet. You can press your left shoulder down into the yoga mat, left arm down into the yoga mat, lift the chest up, and then zhuzh it back down a little bit. So press into the left arm, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, and then maybe you can get a little more on the right side of the body down, or the right upper body down. And where do you feel this pose in your body? Not an assumption of where you're supposed to feel it, but where you really feel it. And then gently bend the right knee. And I kind of like to drag the right leg back to meet the left. Take a moment with knees up towards the ceiling, both hips down on the ground, and pause. Feel both sides of your body. And at your own pace, extend the left leg. So the left foot flexes and faces the ceiling, hands behind the left thigh, right knee can stay bent, or you can extend the right leg straight. Find some grounding on the right leg. Without locking out the left knee, find length behind the left thigh. Sometimes the left outer hip wants to creep up towards your left rib cage. If that's the case, think about zhuzhing, you can even use your hand, the left outer hip down towards the bottom edge of your yoga mat. Feel this side without comparing it to the other side. Active through the feet. And what does it take you to stay engaged in this pose? How's the breath? Start to lower the left elbow down to the ground and move the left leg out to the left. Only so much as you're still in control of the left leg. If you moved your left fingertips away from the left leg, it would not fling down to the ground or somewhere goofy. Again, treat this left side as its own side. If you feel like you have a little more, or you need a little bit more, you can try externally rotating the left thigh in its socket a little bit. You can play too with how much you internally or externally rotate. Again, not for right or wrong, but just finding what's right for you tonight. Keep weight on the right side of your body. Breath on both sides of your body. And gently bring the left leg back up towards the ceiling. Arms in a T. Wiggle the hips around if they don't feel comfortable or square for you. And then let the left leg move to the right a few inches. Just enough until you start to wake up the outer left edge of your thigh, maybe your left butt. Pressing through the left foot. If you're getting what you need out of the pose, stay here. Or you can start to let that left leg drop towards the right. Shimmy the hips over towards your left side. And either use your hand or just by feel, check in that your low back is comfortable, especially when we're holding poses for a minute or longer. Don't tough it out. Correct so it's right for you. Notice what's most awake in your body. And has anything gone sleepy? If you'd like, you can press into the right arm, lift the shoulders up off the yoga mat, and then slide them back down. Maybe the left arm comes a little bit closer. Mine's not perfectly touching the yoga mat. Just something to play with. And gently bend the left knee. Go ahead, slide it in. Left matches the right. If being on your back this whole time is uncomfortable, you can definitely prop yourself up on a bolster or do the next two poses seated. Go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So figure 4 on your back. Just jimmy the hips around until they are pretty square. And you can stay right here if you need a little bit more stretch in the right hip. Bring the left shin parallel with the yoga mat. You can hold behind the left thigh or bring the hands through and feel the top of the left knee. Feel too your spine as you work on stretching that right hip. When you were standing at the wall before, you felt that. Now what does it feel like to have your spine, your head supported by the mat beneath you? Stillness is good here. Be still. If you want to rock, you can rock a little. Gently release the left leg down, re-extend right leg towards the sky, and then half happy baby. So bend the right knee as if you were going to catch it in your right armpit. You can hold behind the thigh. I actually recommend starting there. If that's enough or like plenty of stretch for you, stay there. You can hold the shin, you can hold the foot. If catching the foot makes you round your whole spine up off the ground, lower the hand down. Shine your right foot towards the ceiling and maybe even press it back towards where your head is a little bit. So towards the top edge of your yoga mat. Pain-free. If you need to attend to any of your joints, do it. Feel your breath. You might want to straighten the left leg. With heel down on the ground. And then mindfully make your way back onto your back, constructive rest position, so knees up, feet down. Feel right side of your body. Feel left side of your body. And cross left ankle over the right thigh. Feel your hips on the ground. Flex the left foot, really draw the left pinky toe towards the left knee. Can you even use your left hand here to press the left thigh away? If this is plenty of stretch or work for you, stay right here. If you need more, and only if you need more, hands behind the right thigh or over top the right knee. Think about pressing your left thigh down towards the short edge of your yoga mat, so away from you. Bottom edge, I guess it would be. Even as you hug the right side of your body closer towards your face, keep pressing the left thigh away. If you want to rock, rock. If you want to be still, be still. The right foot come down, left leg extends, left knee extends, and then bend the left knee like you're going to catch it in your left armpit. Hold either behind the left thigh, left shin, calf, ankle, foot, half happy baby on the left side. It's almost like you're doing a half squat, upside down. And as much as you're drawing the left leg down, with your left foot, press up. So there's almost like a pulsation, a little push, a little pull. Feel your breath. What's happening in the breath? If you like, you can extend the right leg straight. If that feels really tight, don't do it. Little push, little pull with the left leg. And then gently bring the left leg down to meet the right. Extend your arms up overhead. Being cognizant of the fact that we've been on our backs for quite a while, go ahead and roll to one side. If you need more time on your side, be there. Otherwise, go ahead, press yourself up. Swing around to hands and knees. So far, so good. Give yourself a fair amount of length from tailbone to crown of the head. Find neutral first, so just the same way you would have stood against the wall before. Recreate that spine here. With soft elbows, moving from the core, a couple of cat-cows. So spine rounding up towards the ceiling, eyes to thighs, and then belly dropping down. Feeling what quality your legs have here after all that time on your back. And then sit the hips back to child's pose, knees narrow or wide. Lift the hips up a little bit, look forward. We're gonna come into puppy pose, so if you want to pad the knees here, you're welcome to. Walk the hands forward towards the top edges of your yoga mat. Get weighty in the shins. Squeeze shoulder blades together on your back and let the heart melt down towards the yoga mat. If there's any pinching in the shoulder joint or like compression, ease off a little bit. So I'll show you my spine. If you were looking at like a yoga syllabus somewhere, it'd probably be like a big curve, like a big cow pose. When in doubt, keep it like a down dog on your knees. And then just start to melt the heart down as you firm the back muscles, melt the chest down. Chin, chest, forehead land on the yoga mat, good for you, but don't stress about it. Mindfully with control, walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Couple of shoulder flosses here. With a breath in, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. And with the breath out, let them separate. So a couple of times, almost like you're squeezing a pencil together, or a pencil between your shoulder blades. A couple of times. And if this is really hard for you to access, you can absolutely go back to cat-cow, and we'll talk about it later. Okay, let the shoulders go. Couple of hip sways. Just let the pelvis move how it wants to move in one direction. Circles with the hips. Feel what's happening in the body here. And then the other way. And notice what else wants to move in your body when you sway your hips. And then go ahead and sit back on your heels. We're going to do lightning bolt pose, so stretch out the feet. Sorry to turn my back to you, but big toes come together. Try to spread those pinky toes down towards the yoga mat. Sit all your body weight on your feet. For some of us, if we haven't really had to wear shoes anywhere in a while, this might not be as brutal as it is in the yoga studio. And then go ahead, unravel from there. I'm going to let you decide down dog or child's pose. So if child's pose is where you're at tonight, be there. Otherwise, down dog, tuck the toes under for a plank pose and lift the hips up and back. Feel the feet where you're at. Feel your hips. Feel the curvature of your spine. You're going to look forward. You're going to bring your right foot by your right thumb. Release your left knee down to the yoga mat. I'm going to cushion mine. Anjaneyasana. I'm going to do 90-degree angle in both knees right now. You can keep hands at the hips or chest up, arms up. Hug the left thigh forward, right hip back. So open the chest a little, left arm forward, right arm back, open up towards the right, and then think about drawing your armpits back, chest back. Head is a natural extension of the spine. Energy through the fingertips. Armpits back, chest back. So back towards whatever's behind you. Towards the left long edge of your yoga mat. Go ahead, sweep the arms back up to center, Anjaneyasana. This is going to be a weird one. You're going to heel toe your right foot out to the right. So it's almost like you're in a short warrior two. Hands can come to the hips. If you really want to fire it up, you can do arms out. And just start to lean into that right leg and lift yourself back up. So a couple of times, try to soften that inner right thigh. Sometimes what can assist in that action is even bringing a hand to like smooth out, soften those muscles. And if you want to tone the muscles on the back of the right leg, so like the outer right knee to the right glute, go for that. And then mindfully walk the right foot back to center. And you're going to either go to child's pose or down dog. No vinyasa tonight. If you feel like it's really what you need, by all means, do the same sequence, throw vinyasa in. Second side, look forward. However you have to negotiate, get the left foot forward, right knee down, cushion it. Anjaneyasana. This might be another place too where you can feel around your hips with your hands or just with your torso. That left hip wants to hike up sometimes. Zhuzh it down. Squeeze right thigh forward, left thigh back. Back toes tucked or untucked, doesn't matter. Pretend you have the wall behind your spine. Get that much length, that much support from the back body as you sweep the arms up. And this twisty part we're going to do, if you're sick of having shoulder work, whatever, you can always do hands at prayer. Start to twist towards the left. Firm your left foot into the ground. With arms open or closed, chest back, armpits back, chest back. The twist is coming from your core. It's not coming from your neck or your eyeballs. You're looking for that spot of just enough, something's happening in the body, but you're not wound up, ready to unravel yourself. Chest back, armpits back, length from tailbone to crown of the head. Go ahead, come back to center. And then heel toe left, foot out to the left. And start to lean in and out. You might have to play with that placement like I do. If you find one really juicy spot that you want to hang out in, by all means, do it. Feel free to give yourself an elbow in there and like, hey, inner thigh muscles, relax. And then go ahead at your own pace. Walk your left foot back towards the top of your yoga mat. Look forward. Tuck the back toes under. You're going to step your left foot in to meet the right. Be gentle on your low back as you get there. Fold over the legs, as much of a bend in the knees as you need. I promise we'll do a quad stretch or two. But for now, press down into the feet, lift the sit bones up, pull the quads into your belly. Find length in the spine, halfway lift. You can bring hands to a block or shins. Press into the feet, come up to standing. Hands at the hips, squeeze the elbows back towards one another. Do that halfway lift again. Knees can be as soft as you need. Get long from tailbone to crown of the head. Press down into the feet, quads into the belly. Feel the toes, the whole base of the foot spread wider. Keep that widening of the feet as you stand back up. Interlace the hands behind you like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So the heels of the hands are not going to come unglued, so we don't have this happening. So they're in there. Widen the feet, wider than left and right. Chest back, collarbones broad, armpits back. If this is plenty of stretch for you, stay here. You can even keep the elbows bent. How straight you want to make them is up to you, just don't lock out. and then hinge forward at the hip. So you're recreating that halfway lift again. If you want to fold all the way down, fold all the way down. If it's halfway, do halfway. Let's see, I have a message. Okay. Breathe, feel your body. I just like to check in when I see little bubbles, so making sure everyone's body parts are where they belong. And then fold, relax. Sway the hips a little if you like. Walk the feet, maybe even a little bit wider. We're coming into pep talk pose. So keep that long spine that you would have in your halfway lift. Bend the knees deeply, forearms up on the thighs. Pull the skin of your thighs backwards. Feel your tailbone move backwards. What might feel nice for some of us here, and it might feel awful for others, so you pick, is stretching the arms forward. It might let you lower torso down a little bit more parallel with the ground. For me, it actually takes some of the weight out of the legs. If that's no good for you, stay up higher. And then go ahead, bring the hands down. Knees come down, no fancy way, make your way onto your belly. That was abrupt. I've only got an hour. Go ahead, bring your forearms down to the yoga mat, Sphinx pose. So, legs in line with one another, hips, knees, toes down on the yoga mat. Trying to keep the legs pretty neutral so there's no turn out and not really a turn in. Navel back, spread the fingers wide, chest back, armpits back. Lower down. Hands by your low ribs. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Lift the head up just an inch. Where your tailbone and your sacrum meet, press that straight down into the ground. Lift up maybe another inch. Armpits back, chest back. Collarbones broad, neck is long. If there's any tension in the low back, lower down a little bit more. And go ahead, release. Bring your left forearm across the top of your yoga mat. Right heel towards right glute. If you have a strap or like a tie or something you want to use here, you're welcome to do that. If this is all you're getting, you're welcome to stay here. You can bring your right hand to the outside of the right ankle. You're trying to close the knee joint as much as you can. Some of us can bring the right hand to the big toe side of the right foot. And like Simon says, lift the elbow, bend the elbow, lift it up towards the sky. Squeeze the right heel in towards the right glute. Any grip you choose or no grip at all. Just like in your Sphinx that we did, if there's any like low back quiveriness, back away from it, not worth it. Feel your body. What's it like in there? If the right knee has wandered out to the right, like it might show up as knee pain, bring the right knee more parallel with the left. And slow and controlled, release that side. Whew. Work. And then left heel towards left glute. Right forearm across the top of your yoga mat. Remember, left arm back. If you can't catch anything, not a pant leg or anything, don't worry about it. If you like, squeeze it in a little bit closer. If you do a lot of quad stretching in your yoga practice, left hand can come to the inside of the left foot, so big toe side, spin the left hand forward towards the new front short edge of your yoga mat. It's a lot easier when I can say like the windowed wall. Thighs pretty parallel. Where your sacrum and your tailbone meet, press it down. And if this forearm placement is too much for the upper body or the low back, walk it out forward a little bit. Feel your body here. And then softly release. All right, come onto your belly. I probably should have had to do this earlier, but so if you want to feel where the tailbone and the sacrum meet, you can bring a hand there, just so you know, and you can give it a little. Sometimes just the tactile feeling of it is like, oh yeah, that's where my awareness should be. Let's take either a Sphinx or Cobra, your choice, then we'll do a chest stretch. So there the tailbone sacrum meet, press it down, collarbones back, armpits back, chest back. All right, come down. Arms out to an airplane. Bend the right elbow. You're going to come onto your right finger pads. Take a gander at your right hand. Maybe the first time you looked at it all day. You're going to roll your right hip on top of your left. Now, I had a 90-degree bend in my right elbow. Now it's a wider angle. I'm going to scooch the right hand in closer to my face. We're looking for stretch in the left pec. So, if you're getting plenty here, stay here. Also, if your left ear does not touch the ground, you can slide a blanket under there, or maybe roll up your yoga mat, impromptu, something like that. If you need a little bit more, you can bend the right knee like you were doing a bridge pose. Let the right foot come behind the left leg. I'll roll the mat so you can hear me. This might be another place where you have to say, hey, inner right thigh, settle yourself down. And slowly roll out of this. Position your arms however is comfortable. Pause in between sides. And what does your body feel like with no stretch? Is there a texture or a temperature to it? Can the head stay quiet when the body's not engaged? Feel your body. Be with what's happening now. And then airplane your arms. Bend the left elbow up towards the sky. Come onto your left finger pads. It's about eyeball height, the left hand. Squeeze your left elbow in towards your left shoulder. Gently start to rock the left hip on top of the right. Reposition the left hand so that you have to work to keep the chest open. And if balance is just a pain in the butt here, you can let the Feet spread a little bit wide. I know sometimes balancing on hip is not easy. And if you like, bend the left knee, left foot down behind the right knee, like a bridge leg. But keep the focus in the right pec. And also doing what you need to do to take care of your shoulder joints, rather than just ram your body into this pretzel-y position. You can think about that tailbone sacrum area too. In this case, you might want to press it forward, like forward towards your left hand a little bit, or that left long edge of your yoga mat. And then gently unravel yourself. Go ahead and press yourself up to hands and knees. I'm going to turn on my side. You can stay where you are. Extend your right toes straight back behind you. And then just rock back and forth on that right heel a little bit. You don't want to like overdo it on the Achilles tendon. Just rock on that right foot. And then go ahead, lower the right knee down to meet the left. Other side. Rock on that left foot a little bit. It's just like before we talked about pulsation. It's like a little give, a little get. A little forward, a little back. And then I'm going to kneel. If kneeling's not comfortable for you, you can absolutely sit cross-legged. You can go sit in a chair right now if you like. Go ahead, stretch your, I'm not going to mirror you, stretch your right arm up overhead. And then bend the right elbow. If you're someone that likes to take your left hand and catch the right hand on the left, you can do that, but we're just going to do a tricep stretch here. So get long in the torso, press your head back into that right forearm. You could also take, but notice a lot of times the arm wants to push the head forward, which is like my current laptop posture. Press back, get broad in the chest, but stay long in the low back. And then let the right arm come down by your right side, wherever you're sitting or kneeling, and let the left arm stretch overhead. You can bend the right elbow as much as you need. Gaze can be forward or out over the left arm. Try to sink the left sit bone or hip bone down, so you're rooting through the left low body somehow, and then stretching long through the left side. And go ahead, let that go. Shoulders roll back a couple times. I'll cross my legs just so you can see what this would look like. That way, left arm up. Bend the left elbow. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Back of the skull presses into the left forearm. If you like, right hand to left fingertips or up overhead. Feel where you're engaged. Feel where you're softening. And what's the right mix of both for you tonight? Go ahead and left hand comes down to the ground. Stretch the right arm over. Broad across the chest. So just like we did before, chest back, armpits back. Root down through the right low body as you stretch long through the right upper body. And pretend you had that wall behind you if you were going to lean into something. Root down, stretch up. Root down, stretch up. Gaze is where it's comfortable. And then go ahead, gently lift yourself up. Not going to lie, I said you were going to get all of my favorite stretches in this class. We did not get to all of my favorite stretches in this class, but I want to give you one last quad stretch on your back. So make your way there however works for you. Cactus the arms. So it'll feel familiar to where we started. Feet as wide as the yoga mat. Let the legs drop to the right, or let the knees drop to the right. Think about your left thigh bone getting longer. So it's reaching down towards that short edge of your yoga mat. Flex the left foot, especially those toes. If this is enough for you, stay right here. Otherwise, right foot can come on top of the left thigh. But again, use that right foot to find length in the front of the left leg. Maybe you extend your left arm overhead. You can think about too with that left thigh, lifting it up a little bit towards the ceiling as you press the right foot, whether it's on your leg or on the ground, down. Kind of like that pulsation again. You're finding a little lift, nothing's being crammed down to the ground. Go ahead, bend the left elbow. Woo. Knees back up towards the sky. Legs drop over to the left. Flex the right foot. Root the groins down towards the floor. Position the right and left knees so they're comfortable. No pull, no tug. And then if you want to bring the left foot on top of the right thigh, go for it. But again, you're pulling, You're nudging the right thigh to find some length. Maybe the right arm extends up overhead. Let the inner left thigh open up the same way it did in our kneeling warrior twos. Feel your breath. Gently uncross the legs. Take the heels of your hands with the feet on the yoga mat. We're just going to traction the spine, so heels of the hands into your hip creases and just press the skin of the thighs forward. Probably won't be a huge release, but straighten those elbows, get a little length, and then soften. If you want to lay here for Shavasana with the knees bent, you can do that. Otherwise, extend one leg at a time. Let your breath come back to natural if it's shifted, and feel your body at rest. Feel any lingering tension on the inhale. And let it release on your exhale. Feel anything still tense on your inhale. And soften it on the exhale. Notice tension on the inhale. Release tension on the exhale. If you have more time in your evening for rest, definitely stay at rest. Otherwise, start to gently rock to one side and pause there. Feel your whole body exactly as it is right now. Don't worry about changing anything. And at your own pace, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring one hand somewhere on your body. And feel how you feel now versus how you felt when you started class. It might be better, it might be worse, it might be the same. How do you feel right now? Know that that all gets to be here. My heart bows to your heart, my body to your body. Namaste.